Well, hello everyone. How's everyone doing on this fine Saturday afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world? Maybe it's a Sunday morning. Who knows? Just placing a battery and a flashlight. At a concert. What concert are you at? Da Vinci, Martin, Mike. Glad y'all are here. Had a busy morning today, so couldn't exactly stream this morning. Note to self, don't move head like that. The struggle continues with the Micron. We're going to work on that. It feeds filament, and then it's hitting something at the bottom of the extruder. Probably those heat sets that it's using there. So it's getting jammed right there. So I need to, I don't know, take it apart and chamfer it or something. I don't know. Let me pull this up and unload the filament out of it. Micron. Unload. Is it going to make me, no, it's going to make me heat it up beforehand. Nice. Why isn't the, what do you mean temperature? 260. Go. All right. Anyway, also right now I'm doing a print that, according to the spool weight for the empty spool weight for these Polymaker spools, I have 10 grams more than what I need to finish the print. So fingers crossed that that's pretty accurate. And that the slicer's pretty accurate. Anyway, first things first, we're going to come over here. Let me get the iPad up. Bum 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 bum. We're going to take a look at this switch wire. Kegel, Luke, what's up? How y'all doing? Luke, I hope your meeting went well earlier today. So, the only things we have left that I can do, by the way, I took the money that people have been tipping with the tip link this morning and used that to order the Cartographer so we can finish this build off. I think I had to add a couple bucks to it, but thank you very much to all those that have donated tip-wise. Appreciate it. It's getting used for this build. All right, I'm gonna have to go around the other side of the table to get this out. It's been a long day. Just got done folding and putting away lots of laundry. So yay to that. All right, let's we need that. We might need this. I don't think we need any Jabberwocky stuff. Also, I'm like 99% sure that everything is printed now for the NG build. The meeting went awesome. That's great, man. I'm happy to hear it. You ordered parts today as well, basically. What'd you order? LDO Leviathan expansion board and a set of 4 Galileo ZXLs for the stealth changer build. Yeah, so that's one use case I can think that the Galileo Z drives would actually be useful, and you would have to have the XLs. I'm assuming I missed that part of the conversation. I was in and out this morning trying to get my daughter ready. She was going to some leadership camp, so I had to get her ready. But I'm assuming that you're using that for stability on your Z-axis with the stealth changer. You're going to be you're going to need that with a little bit extra weight, and you want to make sure that that's repeatable. Oh yeah, you're putting all-wheel drive on it. Yeah, all that extra weight. Yeah. Yep. Not that I think you should go fast on those changes, but I think that'll probably let you maintain a reasonable speed without running into issues. Kegel, how's it going? A distant cousin is a country singer. Nice. Martin. One of the girls I used to work with at the jewelry store, she worked for several years as Reba McEntire's personal assistant down in Nashville. Stability's overrated? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. All right, Mike, enjoy your concert. Captain, how's it going? Steven. So, we're going to start off with soldering some wires to our bed here. You're not going to be able to see this. You're just going to have to take my word for it that I am in fact soldering these things, I guess. It's one drawback. Eventually, I think I'm going to end up moving the soldering stuff over here once I figure out a solution for this thing, so that all the soldering stations and the tools that are over there will move over here. I might even try to move those bins with all the parts and stuff somewhere too. Kraken in 48 volts. I really want to use the Kraken board. So, if anybody is friends or whatnot with Luke from Big Tree Tech, I would very much like a introduction. I tried to get to talk to him at 3D Printopia, and that didn't pan out so well. He was so busy. I can't seem to find him. He used to be on the Voron Discord quite frequently, but I can't seem to find him over there anymore. I thought I had talked to him at some point, but it's not in my DM record. What's up, Zip? Okay, you gotta make sure they stay in one spot though. Okay, and then they gotta come back out here. Yep, it's Zip. She's getting her Spider-Man Legos. Things tend to go missing when they go into the house, so her Legos have got like a little tote, and they stay in there, and she plays with them out here. All right, where'd the end of the solder go? There it is. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, give me a minute.
I need to get out.
All right. There you go. All right. Now, that's all soldered up. Down Undermaker, how's it going, sir? I have to check that out, Kegel. So we've got that wired. Now, if you remember, I took all the magnets out of the bottom of this thing. Kids refuse to sleep. That sucks. Bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. How's your weekend been going otherwise, Down Undermaker? Nick, how's it going? All right, so the other thing we got with this is on my other switch wire, I used some metal spacers. And on this thing, we're going to use 3mm ID, 8mm OD silicone tube. Is there a jig for cutting this for underneath of the beds? there a jig for that? This one's for 7mm OD, and we've got 8. Sort it. They didn't insert the PTFE tube right? Yeah, happens. All right. So I don't see anything quickly accessible and usable, so we're going to figure this out ourselves, I guess. How well does this cut it? Not too shabby, I guess. One, two, three, four, five, this is what we're doing. 6, 7, 8, 9. If this doesn't work out, I will take and put some like M5 nuts or something like that as spacers in there. I don't know. Righto. Let's see. Let's go with them 3x12s. Trying to get the stainless ones out here. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, what do we got over here? Raj, how's it going? So I hear rumor that Raj is going to start streaming himself. Raj, do we get any spoilers for what the first project might be? Or do we have to wait and find out? You know what? I soldered that on with all of that wire. And I didn't want all that wire. I just left that wire on there that long so I would have enough. And the idea with this is you can kind of squish down against these silicone, that bit of silicone, to kind of level your bed out a little bit. Also, I took this morning and redeemed a bunch of points I had on West 3D's reward program and ordered a Berserker rail for the 2.4, so we'll be able to get that fixed and printing better here shortly. All right. There's that. And I need to shorten this back quite a bit. Let me do this. It'll be easier to plug it in that way. Plug that in. And this is going to need a zip tie. What if I... No, I just need to make this shorter. All right. Yeah, I just need to make that shorter. We're gonna have to make this wire shorter. And we're gonna have to definitely zip tie that in place. We can't have that catching back there. So, let's take a look. Micron, Box Turtle, and Jabberwocky to do. A Core 1 and a V2.4 printing at the moment. Nice. Starting off strong there, man. All right, so let's bring the portable iron. I don't even know what this thing's set at. Take the heat set adapter off of it. All right. Havoc, not much. We just put the bed on here. I don't like how long this wire is, so we're going to shorten that up. And I don't know. I might take this off and shorten this up too. I don't like how that is either. But first, I want to do this so that I have a reference for how long I need it. I'm going to plug this iron in. Mm, 350. That goes up to 380. Excellent. I thought you had that printing, Havoc. All right. One. Two. See about cleaning up some of this solder. There's way too much on here. Anybody want a piece of solder? All right. You did fix it, but you can't leave well enough alone. That sounds like the rest of us. Everybody, anyone that got a printer running but then couldn't leave well enough alone, please raise your hand in chat so that Havoc doesn't feel alone. Sorry to hear about that, Raj. Linear rail, dual belted Z, better Y belt path. Kegel raised his hand. All right, so I did manage, if you didn't see in Discord, I did manage this morning to get YouTube and Discord to cooperate. So now members, YouTube members, have access to the special channels along with Patreon members and Discord members. I don't think we have any Discord members anymore. I had one, but I don't think he's a member anymore. So there are some channels that you have access to now. There's not been much activity in them in the past because there wasn't very many people in there. But hopefully we get some more activity going in there now that we've got some more people. I need this rosin cup thing. Oh. All right, well, now we know how long they need to be, at least. We'll undo this. So we need to shorten this a lot. And then take this stuff out. Undo our screws. Why aren't you doing anything? No, not at all, Down Under Maker. Not at all. I'm very much trying to come up with fun stuff for those that are members, but also stuff that people that aren't members will not feel like they're missing out, if that makes any sense. I do like the way that Steve does his members only stuff, where 30 days after the stream he makes it public. So I think we will do the same thing with any members only stuff after probably what we'll do is right before the next members only content thing, the previous members only content will be made public. This needs zip tied there. And as for stuff I post in the members only channels, it might be like early sneak peeks, but nothing that everybody else won't eventually get to find out. All right, so I need to depin this, because I need to make that wire shorter. Let me solder this real quick so that I can turn the soldering iron off. It's a hard thing to balance, to make sure that you're showing appreciation for those that are supporting you, while also not making other people feel left out or feel bad because they can't. All right. Sync isn't working to remove expired members, so well, whatever. But we are working right now on the switch wire. We're working on getting the bed installed. And then if time allows, to pull the ant head apart again. Everybody loves that. All right, now I can go turn off this soldering iron. Oh, we're getting close. How far has that got to go? right. Yeah, no kidding, LTX. I keep threatening to put a dragon burner on the thing and be done with it, or rapid burner rather. All right, let's take this off. On the Micron, it's a Rapido V2. The kicker is, because of the way they changed it, I can actually put the ultra high flow adapter on it and not lose any Z compared to what I've already lost on the thing with the ant head. And the fan duct's all messed up. You're right. That's what I'm going to do. We're not going to fix the feeding on that. We're just going to print the freaking rapid burner and be done with it. Oh yeah, I love the Rapido V2. That's what I've got in the Trident. That's what I've got in my 2.4. It's what I've got in the Micron. I would love to get a tube, but finances are not going to allow that to happen anytime in the near future. I do have that CHCXL hot end that we're going to be putting into the Trident here. I am trying to not mess with the Trident until after these couple blaster builds are done, but I need the hardware kit for one of them to show up, and I need the filament for the other one. So it's kind of in a holding pattern on those two projects. No, his hobby's not cheap. The Tube Mini, I think, is a much... So I think for the average user, the Tube Mini is, or Tube Compact, is definitely the right way to go. The Tube Compact is going to push the same flow rates, 50 millimeters cube, as a Rapido Ultra High Flow. Theirs are about within a margin of error of one another. And that is plenty enough to go really fast with printing, way faster than you should really be printing. The Tube Ultra High Flow, the original Tube, is more for a printer that is printing something with a large nozzle at large layer lines. Luke, thank you very much, Luke. That is extremely generous. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. I don't even know what to say to that. Thank you. And Tube Starter Fund. I will direct it as such. You have my word on that. I really like Luke. I tell you what, did you guys see his video that he posted this morning? Is like 6 o'clock this morning. Posted a video. He's working on the Pika hot end stuff. And the man is passionate. But also, I'm like, ooh, I really don't even want to order anything because I don't want to put anything more on this man's shoulders. Like, he is. And, like, I left a comment like, hey, you know, the community loves you, man. Don't kill yourself. Anything you need, just reach out and we're here for you. Like, don't kill yourself over a hot end. You know what I mean? I've gotten to speak to him twice. Once at Murph, and then I got to speak to it briefly at 3D Printopia. Steve introduced him to me at Murph because I didn't even know who it was. I didn't recognize him at Murph because he didn't have a table or anything. He was just walking around checking stuff out. Yeah. Like, I wanted to give the man a hug and a glass of ice water. And I feel for him. Like, I've been there before. He seems very much same way like I try to be. Like, you're a man of your word. You know, in life, all you have is your word. If you don't keep that, that's nobody's going to do anything with you. At the end of the day, like, that's what things like a credit score really are. It's just a numerical measurement of how much of a man of your word are you. When you say you're going to do something, do you do it? And it seems like that is very much him. From the impression and the few times speaking with him in person and talking to him on Discord. All right. Once more with feeling, we're going to put this bed back on here. Let's push this stuff back out of the way. There we go. Let's kind of get that set down on there, right? Raj, thank you. You guys are awesome. Now, let me ask you this question. When we get the tube, do we Do we wait to get the full-on tube, or do we order a tube compact, and what printer do we put it on? Luke, you started this. Which way you think I should go? You have experience with both. I didn't get rid of the key back on the switch wire. There's a mount that changes that around. Once we've got this bed installed, then I can lower down this Z-axis. If you look here, normally this mounts right here. It comes and wraps around and is your bottom stop. Your key back mount is your bottom Z stop. It's been redesigned so that it bolts into the back, so that you can lower the these rails down, which we will have to do. We're going to have to lower it. I don't know how much. We're going to figure that out. I'm the first one to put a Jabberwocky on a switch wire, so it's an adventure. I take that back. I don't think I'm the first one to put one on there, but I think they previously just put it on there for testing purposes. There was no depressor for the cutter. There was no keyback solution. Just, you know, testing to make sure that the mount they designed worked is the impression I got. All right, I think we'll go tube compact, and that also puts it as a much more attainable kind of goal thing. I think you could buy almost 2 tube compacts for the price of a full-size tube. Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't want to go to like Takeoff or something like that. So a full-size tube, I would end up putting in one of the arch type tool heads. Like I put Blackbird on the 2.4. I would end up putting it in one of those. Probably Blackbird. I really like Blackbird. I would print the mounts out of, you know, PPS CF or glass filled PPS for the temp resistance. Or talk to PCBWay. I've been in talks back and forth with them for quite a few months on finding a project that I could do with them. So get like a CNC version of the hot end mount and stuff like that for arch type, and then use like PPS ducts would work. That's how I think I would go about that. All right, let's see if this works better now. Plug this in. I might have to take this back screw off and move this wire to the other side. Yep, I'm gonna have to take that off and move this wire. This back one is wires on the wrong side of this screw. So just loosen these maybe. Well, let me get that out. Now, can I get it back in? Okay. We got to sit back in. Why do you think that the nozzle would dribble anymore on a tube compact versus any other extended melt flow hot end down under maker? And multicolor system, you're always going to be wiping your nozzle either on a nozzle wipe or on a prime tower right before you go to your print anyway. Like on both the Trident and the switch wire, I run prime towers on both. I got nozzle wipes on the Trident. It goes, cuts the filament, goes back, loads the new one, wipes the nozzle, brushes it off, wipes the nozzle, knocks the poop off the bed, wipes the nozzle again, goes to a prime tower, and then back to the print. Yeah, I mean, it's going to have more molten material in there, that's for sure. But you can't get flow rate without an extended melt zone. So, like, it's just physics. I mean, you're choosing one or the other. Like, and even, you know, a V6 with, you know, 10 millimeters of melt zone, you're still going to have molten material that's going to ooze at the same rate that it's going to ooze out of a tube in that time or anything else. It's, you know, an orifice at a given size with material behind it and a time frame, you're not going to end up with more ooze in that time frame. Yes, there's more material that can ooze if you're just sitting there doing nothing, but if you're in a move, you're limited by other factors. I just threw my wrench somewhere. Oh, here it is. Not being able to feel your hands is so much fun. All right. Black and orange, that'll look good. That'll look good. The thing about Falx is very little of the printed parts do you actually see once it's assembled. Because most of it is inside. Why is this thing not focused? There we go. Most of it is inside. Well, like I said, if I put a tube compact on the Trident, it's already got an ultra high flow on it. It's getting ready to get a hot end put on it that's got a melt zone the size of a Goliath. So I'm not sure how that compares to the full size tube, but it's pretty close. Easy. What we might end up doing with it, we'll see how things play out with it and how the printer goes, but maybe we'll end up putting that in the NG. I think that would be a suitable home for it. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take those funds and I'm going to move it to a separate account. Specifically for the tube. All right. So we are, I'm going to write it down. Because I want to keep track of it. The TZ hot ends, every chat he sees about what hot end he posts a TZV6. What's the TZV6? TZV6. Hot end. Oh, okay. That's the oh wait. No. What is going on with this thing? Yeah, that's the, I've got one of these. It's got a little tiny nozzle thing that goes in it. I don't know where to get replacement nozzles for it, but one of them came with the Micron kit. Yeah, I think it's probably the one that came with the Venture, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The one I have has a little tiny nozzle on it. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's a solid hot end. Not saying anything there's a lot more good options for hot ends on the market right now than ever before. You've got so many options. Back when I first started, you had micro Swiss all metal hot ends. You could get a V6. Rapido came out shortly after, and the Revo came out shortly thereafter. You had the Dragon. You had the Dragon hot ends, and like the Dragon high flow was like it. You know, that was like top tier, kind of at the time. And now you've got, you know, the bamboo hot ends are fantastic. You got Pika hot ends. You got all the like hot ends that go into that form factor. And then you got, you know, all the different Rapidos. You got drop effect. You got tube. You got you know, TZs. You got the, you know, CHC hot ends. There's so many good options out there on the market right now that it is harder to pick a bad one than it is to pick a good one. And personally, I'm excited about that. I mean, at this point, we're discussing hot ends and we're discussing theoretical differences that may or may not even have any effect on anything, and performance that is above and beyond what you'd ever use. You know, we're talking about putting it on a 3D printer, which is, you know, essentially, you know, you need a Honda Civic hot end, and we're talking about putting McLaren motors in our Honda Civics. Yeah, that's the difference between some of these hot ends, right? So the thing that I really like about the tube is I can torch every single thing on that, you know, and not have an issue with it. Nothing's going to melt. Like, I don't know. It's for me, the reason why I don't have them in every single one of my printers is just simply a function of the cost of them. This is absolutely true, Down Under Maker. I'm not arguing that you can get a hot end and a nozzle combo for well under $50 into your printer that is going to do everything you ever wanted it to do. No argument. I've done it. Right? So for over 2 years, the 2.4 had an NF Crazy high flow in it, which is basically a mashup between a Mosquito and a Dragon high flow, and performed phenomenal for 2.5 years. I have a Revo with a 60-watt heater over here in the switch wire. That thing works great. I have the original Revo with a 40-watt heater over here in the V0. That works great. I have a E3D V6 down here in the Prusa. That works great. My old Ender had a knockoff E3D V6 that I think I paid $11 for, and that thing worked perfect. my son's been running a knockoff E3D V6 for 3 years in one of his printers, and no issues. I have no argument that you can't get a hot end for a very good budget and print anything you want to print. I have no argument against that. Exactly. Yeah. So I'll be honest. That thing that's what I needed to do. I knew there was something else. I'm supposed to contact E3D about the hot end in that one. There's an issue with it. It's a known issue that they said they had. Anyway, I forgot about it. This is a great conversation because it reminded me. It's been eating at me since 3D Printopia. I knew there was somebody else I needed to contact. Now, I've got an Undertaker in 3 printers. They work great. I used to buy, brass V6 nozzles in 20 packs off of Amazon, and just, if it clogged, not worry about it, pull it out, throw it away. If I wore it out, pull it out, throw it away. Now you can get really good nozzles really cheap. So while, yes, the cost of the top end, what you can, the most you can spend on a hot end has gone up in time, but also the cost for a good entry level is dropped down. All right. Now, we need to put a magnet on this. Because like I said, I pulled all the magnets out of the bottom of this bed. So we're going to wipe this down with some alcohol just to clean it off. Make sure it's good and clean. What is going on there? Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It'll be all right though. And then we're going to go over here. And somewhere in this, I think it's in this Wham Bam box. Yes. We have a 300 sized magnetic sheet. What did I just recently have to put? A magnet. Oh, the person. That's why I put the other one. Shout out to Andrew, who quite some time ago sent me 3 300 size magnets. One of them went onto the other switch wire. One of them went onto that Prusa. And then the other one is going on to here. So we're going to put this on. Lovely. Okay, so why not the original magnets? So when I built that switch wire, I spent months chasing what I thought was lost steps or something like that, because I would get layer shifts every once in a while. And it turned out that the build plate was actually shifting and sliding on top of the bed, because it just didn't hold it down firmly enough against that smooth surface on the top of that build, the heater bed, whatever you want to call it. It's like a PCB heated bed. So kind of find out that was what my issue was. It was just moving just a tiny little bit every once in a while. So I put a magnet on it and never had that issue ever again. Then I got the Prusa and the build plate. I don't know, it was used, so I think somebody might have like forced something off of it or something, and the build plate would be perfectly flat until you heat it up, and then there'd be like a little bump in the middle, and the magnets weren't strong enough to suck it down. So I put a magnet sheet on that, no more issues. And also prevented me having to worry about the build plate sliding on the bed. This one, I took the magnets out the bottom, putting this sheet on because we're going to use Cartographer on this, and you can't use that with those magnets because the different magnetic fields messes up eddy current sensors. So let's get this pushed down good. And then let's get a knife out. And then we're just going to take and go all the way around. I don't want to cut those motor wires, so I'm kind of just making my way around it so I can see better. Yep. Just trimming this magnet to fit on this bed. Huh? Yeah, right. What are we talking about? Safety 33rd. What? Oh, yeah. What would you use to cut it? All right, so now we've got our magnet installed there. Now we just gotta find all of the screws. I think last time I did this, I did it with the screws out, so it was a little easier. And that probably would have been a smart way to do it this time, but I didn't. Yeah, forget it. I'll worry about it later when I actually need to get to them. Yeah, I'll look for them when I need them. It's not hard, especially once it heats up. It'll divot down into them a little bit. But, yeah, it won't be hard to find them when I need them. You can kind of feel them. You can kind of feel where they are. Finish that print with one wrap of filament left on the spool. All right, now we need to figure out how much lower we need to get this to go. All right. So I don't know if you can see that very well, but that hot end does not come all the way down. We need to get it 10 millimeters, but we're going to get it 15, I think. Just to be on the safe side. Yeah. That was freaking close. That means that if when I was out today, I had waited another 3 minutes to check my phone and to see a notification from 40 minutes prior to that that the print had failed, and then stop the print, I would not have had enough and would have had to order another spool of Polymaker Starlight Midnight to finish this print. That, or have an entire kilogram worth of print sit down here unusable. All right, so back at it. What do we got? Also, I think, so I don't have a very good quality build plate for this. And then I remembered something. So back in at Christmas time, my friend and yours, LDO Jason, had a raffle thing on the Voron design thing for a bunch of different stuff, and I entered for a build plate. I didn't realize that it was necessarily for the bamboo printers, but that, my friends, is going to fit perfectly on the switch wire. So I have a build plate. Yay. All right. Let's put this away. Oh, I got stung by a bee today. I'm not sure what kind of bee it was. It was black and yellow. But it climbed up in my shirt and stung me. And I reached down and squished it inside of my shirt, and it stained the crap out of my shirt. Whatever its little guts were stained the crap out of my shirt. That's it. I like this shirt. All right. Tools. So, let's remove belt tension. And he's back. So we're just going to remove belt tension off of this. I'll move this out of the way. Take this soldering iron and put it back where it goes. Get the right tip back on it. Oh, and get something to drink. Oh, it's 8:30. Chat slowed down. Probably because a certain Canadian is streaming. But unfortunately, I had to pick a time, and I didn't realize that he was going to be streaming tonight. Otherwise, I wouldn't have overlapped with him. I try not to. Also, I was at Walmart yesterday. Steven, if you're still here, I picked up some more lava cake Reese cups. Does he always stream Saturday nights? Thought he used to stream Saturdays like in the mid-afternoon. Jay took yours? Well, I guess you can feel less bad about shooting her in the foot with the 31K now, huh? Here, so Luke, I get it. I do the same thing. But here's the reason why I try not to stream at the same time other people are. I hate putting people into a situation where they feel like they have to choose. I don't want anybody to feel guilty for watching one person over the other, or paying attention to one person over the other, or just being overstimulated. So I try not to do that. Is he doing the EBB Gen 2 over there? Somebody sneaked out here. Somebody sneaked out here. Oh, I see ya. I see ya. I'd like to know what went wrong on I'd like to know what went wrong on his H36 Cartographer combination. All right. I cannot do this. This crap needs to get cleaned up. So, are you guys... Do you have to stop in the middle of your projects to clean everything up? I mean, I'll stop in the middle, clean everything up, even the tools that I know I'm going to need in 10 seconds, because I can't stand the just stuff. Is that just my OCD out of control, or is everybody like that? I don't know. Okay. You're like that? I'm glad I'm not the only one. Makes it hurt more rewarding. Like, I stopped 3 times tonight in the middle of folding laundry to clean up and organize. The old lady got mad at me. She's like, "You're just going to stop what we're doing?" It's like, yes, because I can no longer function. Okay, so we need to drop that down. We need to drop it down. We're going to come down 15 millimeters. Oh, shit. Let me get you guys a camera so you can see what we're doing. All right, so we dropped this hard stop down 15 millimeters. I'll do the same thing over here. I didn't have time today, but we are going to start having music on the stream again. There's a way to do it with YouTube. They have music that you can use of theirs for streams and stuff, videos, so we're going to use that. I'm always worried about something. So yeah, a little over a year ago, I went to whatever the head shrink doctors are that can prescribe medication, psychiatrists, psychologists. I can't remember what one's what. And they tried a bunch of different medications for anxiety and stuff, and none of them were a good option. Like, nothing seemed real to me. Like, it was bad. Like, I had people asking me all the time what was wrong when I was trying a couple of them. And then eventually they ended up doing it's called a gene site test, where they test to see what reactions and stuff you're likely to have for different medications. And turns out that I can't take any of them. Long story short. So he's just like, "I'm sorry, but there's not really anything I can do for you." Like, I was taking doses that shouldn't have an effect on everybody, on anybody. Like, so low as to should not affect anybody at all. And I was having crazy strong reactions to them. All right, this is going to be a pain in the butt. Loosen and push in. So if you're ever trying to move anything that is got a T-nut behind it, loosen it and then push it back. Kind of break that where it's kind of sucked itself into the aluminum extrusion so that then you can move it down. So we got this side down. Now, are the little centering things still in this bag? Yes, yes they are. All right, so we got our little centering jigs to make sure our rail is centered. So even though we're moving this down, we're not really losing anything on the Z-axis. In fact, arguably, we're kind of gaining some because it couldn't go all the way up because it would hit up here. It would hit the umbilical strain relief. Why are you not tightening? Interesting. We stripped out that one. And we can't really get anything in there to it. We should be all right, though. Luke, are you still here? You were talking earlier today that you work for Cisco. And I was wondering if you might happen to know an old friend of mine. Old friend of mine worked security and networking stuff for Cisco as well. At least he did circa 2008 to 2010. I haven't talked to him in a long time. Long story there. That's something I feel really bad about, but something I couldn't control. Anyway, but it is what it is. His name was Bob. Last name started with a P. And lived in Philadelphia, lived outside of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. Last name very strange. Not like a normal name. I've never met anybody else with it before. All right. Move that down. Perfect. Do it again, but on the other side. There's a firefighter too, if that helps narrow it down any. Yeah, just outside of Philly. Next time we're in a private chat situation, I'll tell you his last name. I don't want to give out somebody's last name like that over stream, you know what I mean? Later, JPP. Are you guys doing your game night stuff tonight? Are you doing I think you said in Jeremy and Keela's stream that you were. I don't know if you were doing it on YouTube or not though. On Discord? What time is that at? Is that getting ready to start here in a couple minutes or in an hour? All right, now will it go all the way down? It will. Like 4 or 5 millimeters to go. You messaged me? All right, fantastic. I'm going to try to be there here shortly. Yeah, I'm going to try to be there shortly. All right, we're going to take this all the way up so I can get as much of this as possible opened. Steven, are you coming to game night? If any of y'all are in JPP's Discord, game night is about the best way to unwind after a week. It is thoroughly entertaining, so long as you are not offended by adult humor or child humor. Some of it's very childish, but we have fun all the same. Come in. If nothing else, you just give Dave a hard time about his Voron. Though I guess now it's printing, so I guess we'll have to find something else to give Dave a hard time about. It's not printing again, you heard. He keeps having clogs. He's running his stepper motor driver at way too low of an amperage. He's running it at 0.4. Told him to take it up to 0.6 to 0.8, somewhere in that range. We need to start working on this situation here. All right, so we get that. Get some zip ties. It could be. I wonder if he's like trying to pull 24 volts from like a controller board or something. I've seen people do that, like hook up their 24 volts to like a bed pin or even a fan header to try to power their tool head off of. So give this a little service loop. I did check and make sure that this was correct, and that is in fact what this is, why this goes like this. It's like a little service loop thing. Have you checked out Girari's drawers down under Maker? Make it however you want. ZNSOP, I used money donated this morning to order a Cartographer probe. So this will be using a Cartographer. All right, now we've got to go over to here. We'll use my normal method for getting that managed, I guess. Oof. You don't want drawers? What kind of... So are you looking for like an old school kind of like caddy, like a handle in the middle kind of thing? You'll just have to design your own in Fusion or Tinkercad or whatnot, and print one. Hold a contest with your students down under Maker. for whoever can design the best tool caddy. All right, I think I'm gonna need to print one of these umbilical glands that's a little bit thicker. This one's too narrow of a channel for this wire. This one's too narrow. I'm starting to wise up. The government's going to come after you for child labor laws. All right, let's cut these zip ties. I'll get a bigger cable gland printed. I guess I could use the old trick of some PTFE tube zip tied to this, right? I've seen quite a few people doing that. Has anybody tried that? The PTFE tube zip tied to the umbilical wire? Curious if it works. Well, 3mm filament would work too. I don't have any of that. Piano wire, yeah. Code Paradox, welcome. It's going pretty good. We got got some progress done on the switch wire tonight. We got the bed installed and wired up. Magnetic sheet attached to it. We've got the Jabberwocky tool head lowered so they'll actually go all the way down to the bed. We got the umbilical hooked up for the wire. Can't really see it, it's out of frame. But welcome. Unfortunately, you're catching the tail end of the mayhem this evening. We're getting ready to wrap it up. But yeah, so we'll be back again tomorrow. We'll probably switch the ant head for rapid burner. Jesus, can't speak. Yeah, so we're probably gonna switch that for rapid burner tomorrow. So I'll get stuff printing tonight. That'll probably be the only thing we do tomorrow. But it'll probably be later on in the day. It'll probably be after Steve's stream. Nice. Did you put the piano wire inside the PTFE tube? Oh my God. So anyway, thank you everybody for joining, hanging out, sticking with me. I know the projects have been a little bit all over the place lately, but we're kind of winding down some of these projects, putting finishing touches on stuff. I don't want to start anything huge that I won't be able to finish before I have the surgery. What we're going to do when I get recovered from this surgery, I don't know. I don't have anything planned for that. But for those that donated tonight, thank you very much. To the members, appreciate you. Patreon members as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a link in the description for Polymaker affiliate link. You can always click on that when you're going to go order your Polymaker filament. Doesn't cost you anything extra. Kicks a little bit back to the channel. And then there's all the other ways to support a channel. But you guys have a good one, and I will see you all back here tomorrow.